These generic growth strategies are often called the product market growth matrix. And again, those four things: market penetration is when you increase market share among existing customers. Market development is when you attract new customers to existing products. Product development is when you create new products for your existing markets. And full-blown diversification, you introduce new products into new markets. Now, a lot of times this matrix will literally be a matrix where you'll see that you can go after existing products in existing markets and so on. Remember, what was that first quadrant called? When we go after existing products in existing markets, what kind of strategy is that? That is a market penetration strategy. What would be an example of that? I'll use an example from my past at the Clorox company when we introduced Soft Scrub cleanser, soft scrub liquid cleanser. It was a very, very new type of product. There had never been a product quite like that before, and so consumers were very, very excited about it to the point where we couldn't make as much as people wanted to buy. We were in an incredibly good situation to be in, which is called allocation. We had to actually allocate where the product was going because there was more demand than supply. That doesn't happen a lot, but it happened then. So we were very much were in a market penetration strategy, just getting more sales to existing markets. Now, once that very, very nice situation goes away, you still want to go after a market penetration strategy. You want to come up with ways to get people to use more and more of your product, but it becomes a little bit more difficult. But far and away, the market penetration strategy is the strategy that you go to first because usually that's far and away the easiest one to successfully implement. Another one of our generic growth strategies is a market development strategy where we introduce existing products into new markets. Now, what do we mean by new markets? A market is a group of potential customers who are alike in the way they value, buy, and use a product. One of the most obvious types of new markets would be new geographic markets. So maybe right now we're only available in North America, and so we're going to go global. Or we're only available in the US, and so we're going to go into Canada. Or we're only available in Massachusetts, and so we're going to go into the rest of the Northeast, and so on and so forth. Geographic markets, one of the first types of things that people think of when they think of new markets. But there are other different types of markets. Demographic markets. The taste adults have grown to love. Here's Kellogg's Frosted Flakes actually targeting adults. The major focus for this product historically has been kids, but they've created this secondary push to go after adults. Well, that would definitely be a market development strategy because adults would be a new market. I'll go back to the Clorox company, and another interesting thing that happened with me with the Clorox company, someone, and it wasn't me, but someone came up with an idea that let's make a huge push to get cleaning products into hardware stores. At the time, most hardware stores didn't carry cleaning products, but this was a very successful push. Nowadays, and this is a Home Depot store, nowadays almost all hardware and DIY do-it-yourself stores have cleaning product sections, but that was a relatively, breakthrough thing back in the early 1980s. So that was very much of a market development strategy because that was a new market for those existing products. Another generic growth strategy is a product development strategy, and that is creating growth by selling new products in existing markets. And we'll get into new product development later on, but suffice to say that right now that's a very big generic growth strategy. And I'll stick with Soft Scrub. Soft Scrub, the product group came out with a new Soft Scrub product called Soft Scrub with Bleach. So that was a new product. That was what's called a line extension. But line extensions, which are new products, are a very, very easy way to go with a product development strategy. Far and away, the hardest thing to do is to go with a diversification strategy. Now, again, a diversification strategy is where you go after new products in new markets. Everything is new. That is far and away the most difficult thing to do. And I will one more time go back to the Clorox company to talk about a diversification strategy. But given how difficult it is to do, oftentimes attempts at diversification strategies are unsuccessful, and Clorox's certainly would. Now, this is a company that has a lot of cleaning products, and they decided, well, some of the other major packaged goods firms are getting into the restaurant business, so let's do that as well. And so the Clorox company bought a local barbecue restaurant, Emil Villa's California Barbecue. Have you ever heard of Emil Villa's California Barbecue? No, you haven't, because Clorox's pathetic attempt to diversify into the restaurant business was incredibly unsuccessful. However, there is huge upside to when you are successful with a diversification strategy, because that oftentimes leads to your biggest gains. I'm going to introduce a thing called the innovation matrix, which takes these two concepts that we've been talking about, markets and products, but takes them a step further. Now, here's our innovation matrix, and you can see that when we go after existing markets with existing products, that's our penetration strategy. Oftentimes, that has the lowest amount of possible growth. When SoftScrub did that, that's where they were. I'm going to talk about a product that completely changed the fortunes of Apple Incorporated. You probably immediately think of iPhone, but there never would have been an iPhone, there never would have been an iPad had there not first been an iPod. Now, the iPod was a new to the world product that was a new product in new markets, and so this was way out on the innovation matrix. In fact, the iPod was clearly the product that put Apple, back into play. It was an amazingly successful product. The farther out you can get on that innovation matrix, with new products, new to the world products for new markets, the more successful you might be. That will do it for this module on generic growth strategies.